Good afternoon. It's Friday, Lunch and Learn, our regular time here at Abundant Health and Wellness. And I am Polly Heil-Mealey, and I am going to be bringing you some information. I'm not sure where you are in the country, but we did hear yesterday that the country is going to start reopening. And so I'm really excited about that. But I'm also hearing from a lot of people that they're very concerned about the country reopening. They don't want it to reopen too fast. They're afraid that they're going to get sick, all those kind of things. So I kind of want to address that a little bit today. We need to be smart in opening the country, but we do need to open the country. Now, one of the things that has bothered me this whole time is that this has been called a pandemic. Now, I'm older, and I was a good English student, and I learned that a pandemic was a disease that killed millions and millions of people. And so the statistics are just not there, that there are millions and millions of people that are dying. So I really want to talk to you about expectations. I want to talk to you about how to re-enter real life and be safe and to feel safe, because there's so much anxiety, there's so much fear out there that really is more catastrophic to your immune system than coming in contact with this virus. So I just want to give some statistics about plagues and pandemics from the past. And this is where there's such a thing as the collective conscious, okay? And that is anything that's going on in the world. It's a vibratory frequency. Everybody picks up on it, okay? I was speaking to my mom this week, and I was telling her that I was going to be really excited when the country reopened, and she said, well, I'm afraid. And she went on to talk about all the things that happened in the, I think it's the 1918 flu pandemic. And she wasn't even alive during that time, but she heard a lot of stories, okay? So that was, they called it the Spanish flu. And so she heard a lot of stories, and so she thinks, and most people think, that because the government and the medical people are using the word pandemic, they're going back to that vibrational frequency, and they're hearing millions and millions of deaths. So I want to put this in perspective for you. So I'm going to give you some plagues that we've had in the past and how many it killed. The first one that is listed here is called the Antonine Plague. Never heard it myself. But it is believed to be either smallpox or measles. It killed 5 million people. Then there was Japanese smallpox in 735. It was a 2-year rampage. It killed 1 million. There was the plague of Justinian in 500. This is all AD, okay? And it was a rat's flea issue, right? It killed 30 to 50 million. That is a pandemic. I'm all over that. That is a pandemic. There was the Black Death in 1347, okay? That killed 200 million people. That was a pandemic for sure. Then there was the New World smallpox outbreak, which killed 56 million people in 1520. There was a Great Plague of London in 1665 that killed 100,000 people. There was the Italian plague in 1629, 1 million. The cholera pandemic, 1 million plus. The third plague in 1889, 12 million, mainly China and India. Of course, we had yellow fever. Now, these are all the ones that I remember learning about in school, and I remember learning the term pandemic. And so when I hear the term pandemic, I think of millions and millions of people that are dying. Now, I think the country thinks that too. I think the world thinks that because everybody is closed down. But I'm going to give you some real world statistics. As of yesterday, okay, I did this late yesterday afternoon, and so my statistics are very current. And we're going to go on a little bit further. There was the Russian flu in 1889, 1 million. The Spanish flu, and this is the one that they're saying the coronavirus is so close to, right? 40 to 50 million people died. We have not had anywhere close to that have died, okay? And that was in a 1 year period. 1 year period? Yes, 1 year period. The Asian flu we had in 1957, 1 million. The Hong Kong flu we had in 1968 to 1970, 1 million. HIV AIDS, which was 25 to 35 million. And then, of course, the swine flu and other things that we've had recently, but none of them was 1 million, okay, or even more than that. And so I have real problem with everybody wigging out over this virus. Now, I want to give you some perspective here. Every person that has been affected by this virus is important and is significant, okay? I'm not trying to denigrate anyone or say something, irrespective or irreverent about the people that have died. Obviously, people are dying. And like I told my mom, because she said if they open up the country, people will die. And I told her, I said, Mom, people die every day. Now, I've been posting statistics. The statistics from cancer dwarf what's going on with coronavirus. The deaths from diabetes dwarf what's going on with coronavirus. You can look at my Facebook page. You can look at those statistics there. I post them regularly. I post them often because I really think that we're not really looking at this with the right perspective, okay? In the case of COVID-19, lots of people are not dying. As of Thursday, like yesterday, the United States confirmed cases was 640,291. Total deaths, 31,015. Total recovered, 52,772, okay? And the global population, okay, the population of the world is 7,794,798,739. Okay, that's a lot. There are global cases of COVID-19, 2 million. Is that 2 million? Yeah, 2,090,110. This is only 0.02% of the population. Let me tell you that again. 0.02% of the population, okay? In this population, the death rate, okay, is 0.0017, okay? Very, very minor statistic here, okay? So it's not even 1% of the population that has been affected by this virus, all right? So hopefully y'all are a little bit surprised about that. I know I was surprised about that because everybody's going on about how deadly this is and how we have to just paralyze the country, all right? So the total numbers in the United States, all right, the total number of deaths as of yesterday, late yesterday afternoon, was 31,015. Okay, that is 0.0093% of the population. Minuscule amount of population. Now, for those that it has affected, it was absolutely devastating. I'm not trying to minimize that at all, okay? If you lost someone, if you know someone, this is a big, big deal for you. But all the people that have been affected, okay, in the United States, again, 0.0093. That is a very small percentage, okay? The shutdown, the economic shutdown, has affected 99% of the population, okay? Everybody that works, everybody that and that's most people. Certainly there's somebody in every household that works. It has affected that many people. Think of it another way. 0.0093% of the population is affected with the COVID-19 virus in some way. That means 99% of the population has not been affected. So you need to keep things in perspective, okay? We are shut down as a nation for a very small percent, less than 1% of the population that is at risk for this disease, okay? We're sacrificing 99% of the population okay, that does not have a compromised immune system. So this is really where I want to go. I think the one thing that this has shown more than anything else is that as a population and a global population, our immune systems are not strong. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that. There are environmental toxins, there are food toxins, there are food additives, there are toxins in the vaccinations, there are toxins, there's just toxins everywhere. I mean, we can't get around it because we don't live in the Garden of Eden. But what you can do is you can support your immune system right now, today, starting today, so that when May the 1st comes, or wherever it is in your state, wherever you are, wherever that comes, you're going to be ready to go out in public and not be afraid. This is what I don't want. I don't want you to be afraid. Fear is a killer. It ruins your immune system. It disables your immune system. It brings your vibrational frequency down. We did a video on that a couple of weeks ago. And so I don't want you to be afraid, okay? So, in reality, okay, there are many in the 99% that has not been affected by the virus who also have a immune system that is compromised. So this is what I want to talk to you about. We've done social distancing. I'm glad we've done social distancing. That has kept a lot of people with compromised immune systems out of danger. So I'm really glad we've done that, but I think that we need to move on. I'm in agreement with the president and our governor that it is time to move on. But if you are one of the ones that suffers from that, I want you to protect yourself, and there are things that you can do. There are things that we are doing. So when we're able to, go out to eat. In fact, on my Facebook post earlier this week, we had, my lights are going out because I've got things everywhere. I had people on my Facebook picture posting pictures of me having dinner with them and having lunch with them, and I missed that. And that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to getting back to, is having dinner with my friends and having lunch with my friends. And I don't want anybody to be afraid that they're going to get sick. So that's what this is all about. What can you do to build your immune system, okay? If you are overweight, you have a compromised immune system. Now, this is not fat shaming. This is not anything about that. It's not trying to make you feel bad. If you are obese, you are 2 times more likely of getting diabetes. If you have diabetes, you are 4 times likely to have cancer, okay? That's really, really important. We don't want that to happen. If you are obese, your immune system is compromised. Don't go out in public. If you have high blood pressure, if you've got diabetes, if you've got COPD, all of those things are things that compromise your immune system. So if you fit into that category, you need to be very, very careful. Now, do you need to be afraid? No, you don't need to be afraid. You need to be careful, all right? So we want to work on what we can do to be smart and get out there, okay? So I told you how you know if you have an immune issue. If you are not immune compromised, you should be proactive and make sure that your immune system is as strong as you think it is, all right? We should not be shaking hands with people, all right? I don't want you shaking hands. If it's somebody in your close family group, people that you're with every week, that kind of thing, you're already sharing germs, so I'm not worried about that. But with strangers and that kind of thing, until this thing goes completely away, just be careful about that. Okay, we should still be coughing or sneezing into our sleeve, and we should still be washing our hands multiple times a day. These are givens. What else can we be doing? Well, we have here in the clinic an essential oil roll-on, and it is made from herbs that are flower essences, essential oils, all that kind of thing. They are made from those components that historically have thwarted viruses. Now, just to give you a little bit of history, and we talked about the Black Death and the bubonic plague and all that. Back in the day, the people that were not affected by the virus were the perfumers and the doctors. Now, why is that? The perfumers used the essential oils, and the essential oils protected them. The doctors, and you may have seen this in the historical your books or whatever you have, that has the doctor with the beak, that comes off, that they strapped it to their face. Well, they put flowers and they put essential oils up in there. And so the doctor would breathe the air through that aromatherapy, and it kept them from getting the virus. So this is one good thing that I recommend all of you have, and we call it the Corona Blend, and it is an essential oil blend, and it's in a roller ball. You put it on your pulse points, on your neck, just like anywhere you would put a perfume. Okay, you put it on your wrist, you put it on your neck, you can put it on the collar, so when you turn your head, you're diffusing that oil. If you have the essential oil jewelry, you can put it on that. But that's one thing that we recommend everybody have, because it presents a force field, and it's an energy frequency that will not allow that virus particle to get into your field, get into your environment. Okay, so we want to do that. We want to take antiviral herbs, small quantities every day, as a maintenance, so that your immune system is constantly on the lurk for foreign invaders, and your immune system is ready to attack it when it happens. Okay, so we want you to do that. We also recommend that you spray liquid silver up your nose. Now, I know somebody got on trouble on the television last week for saying that silver would cure the virus, right? I'm going to tell you, the U.S. patent, and it is patent number 7135195. I'll tell you that again. U.S. patent 7135195 is a silver product, and if you read the patent, it is patented to kill viruses. So I know there's a whole bunch of stink, all that kind of stuff. I'm just telling you, this is a USDA patent that says liquid silver will help you with viruses. And so we have that here in the clinic. That's something that you could do prophylactically, and that's a medical term, in advance of, to prevent sickness and disease. So if you want to go out in public, and I read a report this morning that says if you're wearing a cloth mask, you actually are trapping those virus particles there, and it is less healthy than not wearing that. Okay, so I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not intending on wearing a mask. Okay, but what I probably will be doing is wearing the Corona Blend. I mean, around here, I'm spraying my desk with the Corona Blend. We have it in the diffuser. We're wiping down the counters, all that kind of stuff. So we are actually using that. Probably if I went out into a more crowded atmosphere, the grocery store or whatever, I would put silver, up the mucous membranes, so that any virus particle that I came into contact with would not have any hold on me because of that liquid silver. So I'm going to put a link under this video of a website that you can actually read about this patent, okay? We do sell this patented technology here in the clinic, and so we have that. You want to get good, nutritious food. Now, what I've heard over and over and over this week is people are not being diligent with their diet. They're eating whatever they want to. There's a lot of Facebook memes out there that show this beautiful, thin woman, on day 1 of the quarantine, and then she's quite a few pounds heavier on day 30 of the quarantine. I'm sure you've seen it. We don't want to be that person, okay? That's not who we want to be. We want to have some discipline and eat properly, because that is what is good for our immune system. Now, when you take in sugar, a lot of refined sugar, you are suppressing your immune system. When you do sodas, 1 can of soda will suppress your immune system for up to 4 hours. So just think, if you come into contact with any pathogen in that 4-hour period, you're not going to have as strong as an immune system as you need in order to take care of that. So you want to be very, very careful that you still stay disciplined in your food, so that you're not going to, lower your immunity and become prey to the virus, okay? You want to get plenty of good, clean water. Now, I recommend the reverse osmosis spring water. That's what I drink. That's what I recommend. We do not recommend tap water. I'm just saying we don't recommend that. I don't particularly recommend distilled water because I do think most people that come to see me are low in their minerals, and so I want them to have the minerals that are in the water, the spring water. I want you to have that. So you need to be drinking half your body weight in ounces, okay, every day. If you drink a soda, it takes 8-ounce glasses to neutralize the acid in your body in that soda. So just understand what you're doing. I don't want to be the food Nazi. That's not who I am. That's not what I want to do. But I want to give you information because hopefully, you know, Mother's Day is coming up. I did not get to see my children over Easter, and that was very, very sad. I think it's the first Easter I have not seen at least one of my children. I did not get to see my grandchildren. And that we had a grandchild that had a birthday yesterday, and we couldn't visit because of the corona crazy, all right? And so I'm really looking forward to things opening up, but we need to go back into society very, very aware, very mindful, not fearful, but mindful of what we're going into so that we're able to go into this, nobody relapses, and we're able to go from stage 1 or phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 until everything is just back to normal, okay? So I really want you guys to be thinking about that, and I'm thinking about that too. The 6th thing I want you to do is get plenty of rest. I'll see a lot of posts on Facebook at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, all that kind of thing. Your body repairs itself between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So that's where you want to be in a restful state. That's when you want to be in a parasympathetic nervous system state so that your body can actually feed and restore what needs to be restored, okay? We don't live in the Garden of Eden. We need to restore and replenish in the evening on that circadian time cycle. If you don't understand what that is, if you've never heard about that, you can Google it. You can look at the different organs, and you can look at, there's some traditional Chinese medicine websites that will say this organ regenerates at this time, this organ regenerates at that time. If you're not sleeping during those times, guess what? You're missing out. So getting good sleep is going to be very helpful for you going through this, okay? Distance yourself from toxic people. All right, I've said this before. Toxic people and drama, that will weaken your immune system, okay? We don't need it. We're too old for it, okay? Hopefully we're too smart for it. You don't want to have a lot of toxic people in your life. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have drama because people are losing their jobs, okay? People are not able to get unemployment. People are still waiting for their stimulus check. There's all that kind of stuff going on. So you might have some ups and downs in your emotions. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a toxic person that every time you're around that person, you get anxious. It's not pleasant. You're always having to defend yourself, or you're trying to hide because of the accusations or whatever. That's what I'm talking about. Those kind of people really, really weaken your immune system. People in your family that are suffering from depression, people in your family that are suffering from layoff, moms in your family that are overwhelmed because they're overworked and they're the teacher and the mom and the homemaker and the worker and all that kind of stuff. That's a big ask for those women. So you really want to have those people and be a resource for those people while staying healthy in yourself. The 8th thing I want you to do is to be mindful of your environment. Now, mindfulness is a wonderful thing. The more you pay attention to something, the more you can recognize that, okay? Have you ever thought of the incidents that we've all had? We've gone, we want X car, whatever it is. And we've got our heart set on that. We're searching out the best price. We're searching out the best deal, or we're doing that. Everywhere we go, everywhere we see that car, right? What we are intent on is what's going to manifest in our area. So being mindful of your environment, you can train yourself to actually feel changes in the atmosphere. I know that sounds kooky, and I'm not trying to be kooky here, but here in the clinic, we work with vibrational medicine. I'm doing vibrational things all the time. I am mindful of it. I am aware of it. And I will tell you, sometimes people come in and they sit across the table from me, and I can feel the energy of viruses and bacteria and that kind of thing, right? So do I freak out about it? No, I don't. But as soon as the appointment is over, I make sure that we disinfect. I make sure that I wash my hands. I make sure that I take care of things so that I'm not going to be prone to that. And so far, so good. So you can train yourself through mindfulness to have a sense about you of, this is a dirty area. I just touched this and this is dirty. Now, I go to the grocery store not as often as I used to, because I have a loving husband who gets off work before I do, so he usually does that. But I have gone into the grocery store not really paying attention to the basket, and I'll touch the basket. Sometimes I don't feel anything. Sometimes I'll touch that basket and it's like, ooh, it's got cooties, right? So you can actually, if you're mindful, when you're in your environment, your body will tell you, you just touched something that was dirty. You just touched something that was infectious. And so you can take remedies right there. You can get a hand sanitizer, you can get a wipe, you can get essential oil, you can go to the bathroom, wash your hands. There's all kinds of things that you can do right there in the moment. You don't have to be afraid. You need to trust your body. You need to trust your innate immune system to talk to you and tell you this is a dirty environment. You have to train yourself. You have to be mindful. But I promise you that you can do this. And I'm seeing a lot of wow faces, so y'all are thinking like I'm crazy. But I promise you I can do this. We can just do that. It's just something that we can do. If you go and visit someone who has a compromised immune system, then you should wear a mask. Okay, according to, this was yesterday in the afternoon, according to the CDC website, the CDC recommends that healthcare workers and people who have COVID-19 and are showing symptoms should wear a mask all the time, okay? Healthy people should only don masks when taking care of someone who is ill with the coronavirus. The World Health Organization recommends the same, okay? So what am I going to do? People want to know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything any different than what I always do, okay? Steve and I went out. We went out to the drugstore. I needed to get some things. I didn't wear a mask. I didn't wear gloves. Now, I didn't go up to people and start hugging on them either. I mean, you know, you have to have some common sense. I kept my social distancing, and I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid at all. I walked across the parking lot. There were not many people there. There were some people. Other people had on masks. Other people had on gloves. And if that's what you feel like you need to do, go for it. But I don't want you to walk around in fear, okay? Because it's just, there's no reason to be in fear. Your body, your skin is your number one defense mechanism, okay? You've got villi in the nose that is supposed to catch these particles. Now, this particular virus does have a propensity for the mucous membrane of the lungs and respiratory system. So you want to use that silver to protect those airways if you're vulnerable for that. But you don't want to walk around in fear over it. I'm just saying, you don't want to do that. I already take precautionary supplements. Now, I've told you before, but I'm going to tell you again because we may have new people watching that have not seen anything before. Steve and I went on a business cruise at the end of February. Now, there were already cruises that were quarantined because of the coronavirus. Was I afraid? No, I was not afraid. Did people that love me, were they afraid? Yes, they were afraid. But because I know who I am, because I know what my body's able to do, because I know I keep my immune system in top shape, I was not worried. We did take some antiviral supplements before we went. We took those antiviral supplements on the ship the whole time we were there. We took those antiviral supplements for a full week after we got home. And guess what? We didn't get sick. Now, we did hear that people that were with us in that same working environment, they did get sick. Nobody had the coronavirus, but they did, quite a few of them did get the flu. So I'm just telling you, I am proof positive that this stuff works, okay? You don't have to be afraid. that's about all that I have today. My time is just about up. I'm not sure if there's any questions or anything like that. If there are any questions, you are welcome to email us. If you want that Corona blend, we have it here. I think it's about $23. It's not real expensive, but you can put it in your purse. You can put it, guys, in your pocket, and you can walk around with it. And whenever you feel that little nudge from the body saying, you're in a contaminated area, you can just whip that out and put it on, breathe it, and it'll do what it needs to do. You don't need to be scared. We do need to be smart, but we all need to get back to work, okay? All of us do. And so we are praying for you. We're praying for your health. We're praying for your economic recovery. We're praying for your mental peace. We're praying for all those kind of things because we know that this is a hard time. But please, 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 please do not get into fear. Now, one of the things as I read this article about the pandemic, and if you want to look at this, the website was, let me see, I think it's called Visualizing the History of Pandemics. Okay, I think that was the website. And it says that pandemics are no longer catastrophic with death because of our health care. So that might be why I was a little kind of confused at, why are we calling this a pandemic when nobody's dying? I know, not nobody, but 0.0009. Okay, not a lot of people are dying with this. Not even a lot of people have been affected by this virus. Less than 1% of the population. Less than 1% of the United States population. Don't have the assumption that when I go out into the world, I'm going to get this disease. That's not the right assumption to have. The assumption to have is I'm healthy, I eat well, I take care of my body, my immune system does what it needs to do. Of course, I'm a praying woman, so I always pray, okay? But I am not anticipating that I am going to get sick. I am anticipating that if I come in contact with a germ, my body's going to let me know. I'm going to do what I need to do proactively, okay? If I do feel sick, I will take my antiviral, antibiotic herbs, my natural herbs. I will set my phone for every 2 hours. I will take those every 2 hours, and by the end of the day, I feel more like myself. So it's never failed me. I've been doing this for years and years and years. Do not get into fear, okay? Looking forward to talking to you next week. I missed you last week because it was Good Friday. I want you all to take care of yourself. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourself. Work on that immune system. If it's something I can help you with, if you have no antibiotic herbs, if you have no antiviral herbs, we have them here, and I'll be more than happy to help you. If you want that Corona blend, we have that. We'll be more than happy to help you with that. So take care. Love you very much. Have a great weekend. See you next week. Bye-bye.